Hello everybody. So this week's activity is going to be another part of what we did last week on Canvas. So if you did the Canvas activity, then you already know that we were talking about coding and programming. Now this week's activity is for grades K through 5, so everybody in the house can do this. If you have younger siblings who are not old enough to be in school, or you have older siblings who are maybe in middle school and high school, everybody can give this a try. It's all about following directions and doing something called an algorithm, which we'll talk about a little bit more here in a bit. But to do our activity this week, you only need a few things. We need something to write with, we need something to write on, and we need something stable that will hold your paper to write on. So go get those things, hit pause if you need to, and meet me right back here. If you're watching this on Canvas, just click next. All right, so for our activity today, we are going to work on algorithms. And algorithms is just a set of directions that you would give a computer to tell it what to do. So if you wanted a computer to start up, you have to program it or tell it how to do that. Now, we have the easy part as the person who uses the laptop because all we have to do is press the power button and boom, it comes on. But the people who created the computer and built the parts and pieces, they have a much harder job. They have to do the coding. They have to go in and they have to type the directions. They have to tell it exactly what to do and how to do it. Now, the great thing is that our activity doesn't even need a computer except to watch me. Now, I'm going to play a little game with you that you can play with your family members. Now, if your family members want to try the game with me, perfectly fine. The more the merrier. If you want to just try the game with me and then show your family how to play it, that's fine too. And again, all you need is 3 things. Something to write with, like a pencil, a piece of paper, can be a notebook paper, can be scrap paper, it can be just a paper you have laying around. And then you just need something to write on. I'm using a clipboard so that you can see what I'm doing while I'm doing it, but you can use your table or the floor, whatever works for you. Okay? So let's get started with following our algorithm. Now, I'm going to give you a set of directions. I'm going to tell you how to do them, and we're going to see if you end up with the same thing that I do. Now, if not, it's okay. It just means that maybe you thought something different than I did when I was giving the directions. That's what makes you and I different from a computer, is we get to think of what we know, what we have experienced, and we use that as our information. Computers just use the code. Now you're probably thinking, Mrs. Hannan, why are we talking about coding? Why are we talking about algorithms? Algorithms are the basis of doing cool things like this. Maybe you've seen something like this before. This is called Sphero Mini, and Sphero Mini is a type of robot. Now, it doesn't look like a robot, but if I showed you the inside, it might just look like a robot to you. See? Now, inside this computer is a lot of different things. And yes, I did say computer because robots are computers too. You have to tell them what to do. So on the inside of this is a lot of things that make this do its job. Now I have to connect it to something like an iPad or my phone, and then it does its job. But I have to be specific. I have to tell it exactly what I want it to do and how I want it to do it. If I want it to roll forward, I have to tell it how fast, I have to tell it how far, and I have to tell it how to roll. And if I'm doing something more complicated, like maybe using dash, I also have to be specific with him too. I have to tell him how fast to move, I have to tell him how far to go, and if I want him to talk, I have to tell him what to say. If I want him to flash lights, I have to tell him what colors. So that's why we're going over this, is you're getting an idea of what it's like to be a computer. Now, we are human, so I'm going to be a little different with directions than I would be with a computer with you, because people, we know things a little more than computers do. Remember, you are smarter than your computer. So get your paper, get your pencil, get your something to write on, and I'm going to give you some directions on how to draw a picture. If you don't get it right, it's okay. You can try again, or just laugh it off and be like, meh, mine's okay. So let's get started on our activity. So first of all, make sure you're somewhere where you can draw easily. Like I'm sitting in my office right now and I am using a clipboard on top of a upside down basket so that I have somewhere to write and talk to you at the same time. So I have my spot, I have all my materials, and the next thing I need to do is to create the drawing that I want you to draw. Now I'm going to make a small one on my paper so that I can give you the directions exactly how I want you to do them. So I'm going to take just a moment, and I'm going to probably speed this part up just a little bit so you don't have to watch me draw the whole time. And then I will be right back with you to show you exactly, well, not show you, tell you exactly how to draw what I drew, and then we'll see if yours matches mine. All right, so I'll be back with you in just a moment. You can, draw something of your own, and maybe that's what you can make your family try to draw, or maybe you can send me a video of giving directions on what you drew. So I'll be with you in just a moment. All right, I'm ready. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. The first step is on the middle of your paper. I want you to draw a medium-sized circle. All right, got that? If you need to press pause while I'm giving directions, that's totally fine. I understand. All right, if you have your medium-sized circle, I want you to draw a circle inside of that one that is just a little bit smaller than the medium-sized one you just drew. All right, if you have that, great. If not, press pause. All right, next step. I have to go back and look at mine for a second so I know exactly what to tell you. All right, on those two circles, in between the space, so you know how you have the one circle and then you're supposed to draw the other circle inside of it? The space between those circles, go ahead and color that in. Now, you don't have to be perfect. You can lightly color it in, or you can kind of scribble a little bit, but get the idea that it's supposed to be colored in. Now, this part may take a while, so feel free to press pause. That way you have some time to color it in. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you a little break here. So I'm going to stop my video for a moment and give you a chance, and then I'll be with you in just a little moment, give you a chance to color. All right, are you all done? All right, here's the next step. After you have colored in the space between the two circles, then I want you to draw a small circle in the middle of those circles. Now, when I say small, leave some room to put some things inside of that circle. So it needs to be a lot smaller than the one that you put on the inside, but big enough to draw some things in it. All right, once you've drawn your small circle, I want you to make the line that goes around that circle that you drew, I want it to be a thick line. Now, it doesn't have to be a super thick line, but a thick line that you can tell that it's not just a pencil line, it's a little bit thicker. All right, remember, if you need to press pause at any time, go ahead. I'm trying to wait a little bit, but gonna be honest, it's a little awkward just sitting here staring at a computer screen waiting for you. So you can press pause, it's fine, I understand. All right, if you have made your thick line around the small circle in the middle, then I want you to draw two oval shapes on the right side of that small circle that you just made. Now, one of those ovals should be a little bit bigger than the other. The one that's closest to the middle should be larger than the one that's closest to the side. Now, if this sounds confusing, let me explain it a different way. So the small circle you just made, we're going to put two oval shapes in it. Now, when you do that, they need to be close to the right side of that circle. And then the one that's closest to the middle, it should be bigger than the one that's the closest to the right side of the small circle. Now, remember, I'm trying to be specific, but I'm doing the best I can with telling you directions, just like I would do with a computer or a robot trying to tell it directions. And remember, if you don't get it right, it's okay. All right, and if you drew those two small ovals, go ahead and color those in. And we have one more thing before I show you what mine looks like. All right, if you're ready, that small circle that is in the middle of the two bigger circles, we're going to give it a tail at the top. Now, listen carefully before you draw the tail. When you draw this tail, it should go to the top of the circle, and it should kind of go out to the side on the left. Now make it a pointy tail. So if you were thinking a fluffy tail, not the kind of tail you need for this one, you want a pointy tail. And then color that in too. All right, you ready to see what mine looks like? Are you sure? I actually gave you a clue as to what we were drawing at the beginning of this video. So if you were paying attention earlier, you might have seen exactly what we were drawing. There we go. We just drew the Sphero logo. If you were paying attention earlier, I showed you my Sphero Mini. So it's not perfect. I'm going to see if I can get a little closer so you can see them. So the Sphero Mini has the Sphero logo, and I did my drawing of it the best I could. So it's similar. Not perfect, but you know what? They look pretty close. If yours looks like mine, great. If you want to share it with me, you can email it to me or you can send it to me in Canvas. If you're not sure how to send things in Canvas, like videos or pictures or just sending assignments, I'm going to show you how to do that part next. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably going to miss that part. If you are watching this on Canvas, then you are more than welcome to go on to the next page and see how to send it. So if you are one of my students who's watching this on YouTube, then you can just email me your picture. That's perfectly fine. I know my kindergarten and first grade friends have been emailing, and some of you have been using Canvas, so you are welcome to do it either way. All right, so now it's your turn to be the teacher, or the artist giving the directions, whatever you want to call yourself. Here are some rules that you probably didn't notice that I was doing while we were doing this because I'm not with you in person. So here are the rules I was following. First rule is the instructor or the teacher is choosing a drawing and then telling the artist or the person I was working with how to draw this. So you decide, if you're doing this with a family member, you decide who's going to be the instructor first and who's going to be the artist first, and then you can switch if you want to. Now the artist is not allowed to see what you were drawing. So when I was giving you the time to sit there and kind of get some things together, I was drawing my picture. And you notice you didn't see my picture until the very end. So when you are the instructor, then you have a picture that you cannot show the person that is drawing it until the very end. Now, as the instructor, the teacher, I was giving you words to describe the shapes and how to do it as I was telling you how to draw it. I was telling you to draw a circle or an oval. I said a tail at one point. So those are the things I had to use. I'd use my words to describe what I was talking about. I did not show you anything. I didn't go like this and show a circle. I didn't say like at the top. I didn't do anything that showed you what to do. I just told you. So that's something to keep in mind if you're the person giving the directions. Now, you can be as specific as you want. I said to draw a circle in the middle of your page. So you might want to tell your artist where to draw, the top, the bottom, the middle, wherever they should go on their page. If you need to draw 2 lines, then you need to tell them exactly where those lines need to go. Now, here's the thing with the artist. The artist, or the person who's drawing, is not allowed to ask any questions to the instructor. Now, this was easy for you and I because I'm at home and you're at home. So you can't ask me questions unless you are emailing them to me or sending them on Canvas. So you can't ask any questions if you are the artist. You just have to do exactly what they tell you to do. Now, when you're finished, you're all done with the drawing, the artist is going to show you what they drew. Now, this is kind of backwards for you and I since I'm at home and I've already showed you what mine should look like. But if you still want to show me what you ended up with, that's fine. You can send it to me. but I would love to see what you and your family members do at home. So you could send me what your picture looked like of the Sphero drawing if you want to, but also send me what you're doing with your family, or maybe you did a Zoom call with a friend and did this. However you did it. I would love to see what you guys came up with because this is pretty fun. Now, the last part is you can do this with one person in your family. You could do this with everybody in your family. So it's up to you. If you want to send me a picture of what you did, if you want to send me a video of how you did it, I would love to see either one. So if you're on Canvas, when you hit next, I'm going to show you some ways you can send these to me. If you are watching this on YouTube, then you can email me and I can help you out if you're not sure, or you can send me a picture through email. Movies don't really work very well, so if you're sending a video, they usually don't come through very well. So maybe a picture would work best if you're sending this through email. If you just want to send me a picture of the drawing, that's fine. I would love to see your name on this paper so I know who's sending it to me, especially if you're just sending me an email. All right, so if you're on Canvas, go ahead and click next. If you are on YouTube, I will see you next time, and I can't wait to see what you drew.